Hello everyone and welcome back to another Facebook Friday. Once again, I'm Dr. Van Scoik and I'm joined with Dr. Botros, and congratulations to everyone that is watching this video because you have successfully made it through 2020. That's right, we are now into 2021. I know that many of you thought that it would just never end and that year would go on forever, but luckily we have made it into a new year, and with a new year comes new hope. Once again, there's always going to be issues around the corner as far as this going on and that going on. But when we cross a new calendar year, it gives us a new opportunity to refocus where we're headed. So today, that's what we're going to talk to you guys about. We're going to talk to you guys about setting new goals, and more specifically, some healthcare goals and some life goals, because we need to know where we're going to go in 2021. And so this is going to be an opportunity for us to refocus ourselves and figure out, where do we really want to go? What do we really want out of our health? What do we really want out of our lives? Dr. Botros, what are some things that people need to think about as we start moving into 2021?
I think one of the main things we really should be thinking about is when we look at the past goals that we've set and we failed. Unfortunately, statistics shows that more than 80% of us are going to fail our New Year's resolutions by the beginning of February. So that means we set an ambitious goal and 1 month later, 4 weeks later, we don't get to it. So when I see statistics like that, I don't think that means that 80% of us have poor, willpower and lack of focus and discipline. That tells me that the system in which we try to achieve our goals is fundamentally inaccurate. It's not one that tends to work for about 80% of us. And maybe 20% of us who are able to achieve our goals might know something that works better and works with you to be able to achieve your goals as opposed to not be able to feel it. And of course, we see when you fail your goal, you start feeling pretty bad and you start losing your self-confidence, and it can potentially be not a very positive way to start off the year. Now, there was a survey of 141 million Americans. That's a lot of people. And they asked them what are the top goals that they had. And they found that the number one goal, in order from the first top three here, is a health goal. The second one is self-improvement. And the third one is financial. Now, here we know that health is wealth. So if we can focus on health, we will be doing self-improvement and we'll be helping potentially with your financial situation as well. So it's like three birds with one when we focus on our health goals here. So that's quite amazing. Now, unfortunately, in that same survey, they asked, hey, why do you think you were unable to achieve your goals for those who were unable to achieve their goals? And they found that the number one reason was, they said, I have very little willpower and discipline. Last year, the number one reason was because of COVID. So that, of course, that's understandable. But let's take an example of a math class. So let's say I go to a math class, we take this math exam, and 80% of the students fail the exam. Is it because 80% of us really don't want to learn this program or learn this concept? Or could it be that perhaps we're not understanding this concept because it's not being taught appropriately? Or it could be that the test is not testing our knowledge in the material that we're taught. Or you go to let's say a doctor, and you see that that doctor has an 80% failure rate of treating a certain condition. That's a little bit concerning. Is it because you went in there and you did you had the wrong disease, or is it maybe that the doctor didn't really know what they were doing? So it's the same thing here. So one of the things I want to focus on is something called the reticular activation system. So what this is, it's 6 different regions in the brain working together, and what it does, and this is one of the things that we're going to be talking about next week that we can start doing together to be able to achieve our goals, is we take advantage of the reticular activating system. So a great example of this is if you're shopping for a house. All of a sudden, you're going to see that there's a lot of houses for sales. You're going to see those for sale signs everywhere. Or if you bought a new Toyota, you're going to see, wow, there's the same model of Toyota everywhere. Why does that happen? It's not because all of a sudden everyone had the same idea and the marketing is going through the roof and you got suckered into it and so did everyone else. No, not necessarily. Usually it's because your brain, when it focuses on something, it sees more of that. That's why the rich get richer, the healthier get healthier, the sick get sicker, because the more you focus on what you're focusing on, you're going to achieve and get more of that as well.
That's excellent. Absolutely. And it's one of those concepts that we see over and over and over again, where when we focus on certain things, once again, our intention is starting to drive in that direction. So we're going to be working on a lot of these things as we work together here, not only for this little video, but also in the next coming weeks. We're going to help you guys start to achieve some of your goals. So when we look at goals, what are some simple goals and things that people could be working towards here in the new year?
So, I think one of the things that we had talked about earlier, and it was in one of our videos too, are the three pillars of health. And when if you've been seeing us, you know that there's the trauma, there's the toxins, and there's the thoughts. Those are the three things that fundamentally can tax the nervous system and negatively or positively impact our health if we know how to manage it and take care of it that way. So if we can target those three things, then we have the best chance of being able to be as healthy as we can be.
Exactly. Absolutely. And so when we look at what does health really break down into, there's, once again, like Dr. Fortress said, three major categories. And there's physical stress, there's chemical stress, there's emotional stress, there's thoughts, traumas, toxins. These are the three big things that we need to better manage. And so when we set forth goals for the new year, those are those three things that we're going to want to improve upon. What are ways that we can better manage our physical stresses? What are ways that we can better manage our chemical stresses? What are ways that we can better manage our mental stresses? And if we can achieve those type of things of improvement, your health is going to continue to improve and you're going to be able to achieve those goals. Now, a lot of us start off the year saying, okay, physical goals, I'm going to hit that gym and I'm going to really do well with that. Or dietary goals is, I'm going to cut out sugar and I'm going to do this. These are all great goals. But we need to figure out what are ways that we can achieve accomplishing those goals. And there's some certain tricks that we can use to once again, get you to focus on those goals and maintain those goals. There's a thought process of how do we really succeed in life? And once again, knowing where we want to go is important. And there's certain things that we can do and say, okay, here's my vision of what I want to achieve. If we were to put together a vision, how would we go about doing that?
So one of the things that we can do is, like we'll be talking about, is something called a vision board. Now, a vision board is a really unique concept because it uses one of the senses that is most closely linked to our emotions, which is our sight. And so when we have a vision board, we find the things that we are really aiming towards wanting to achieve, and we have that in front of us on a regular basis. Now, interestingly enough, when you study the top performers, CEO of corporate 500 companies, there are certain things that they tend to have in common and do to be able to be high performers, not just financially, but also in areas of their health and relationships and things like that as well. And this is actually one of those things that seems to be quite a common thread among high performers, whether they're athletes or CEOs, or any high achiever as well.
A vision board, once again, is you take different bits and pieces and say, okay, I want to live in this type of a house. And so you go and you find pictures of that house and then you put them up on the board. Or I want to be able to do this, and you go and you find pictures of it and create different things. And we'll talk a little bit about this in the next coming videos as to what is my vision? What is what I want to be? What is what I want to accomplish? And like Dr. Botros said before, when we start visualizing it here, then we'll start seeing it out in the real world, and then we'll start to be able to move towards having those things. Because we need to have two different parts to achieve our goals. First one is we need to have this vision. We need to have the overall concept of where we want to go. But then the second part is we need to have action. Without action, ideas are worthless. And without ideas, actions are totally unnecessary. They're useless. So we need to have both. So today we want you to start off by thinking about where you want to be. What do you want out of your healthcare? Are you happy with where it's at right now and you want to maintain it? Awesome. Do you want to improve it? Great. Do you want to prevent it from getting worse? Great. Everyone has different goals. We need you to start thinking about what those goals are. And then once we know those goals, then we'll know what we need to do in those trenches to achieve those goals. Very important. Now, many of our patients, we're very fortunate because we have some fantastic, and many of you have achieved great goals in your life. You've done, Olympic events and succeeded highly in Olympics, or are professional athletes or CEOs. We have patients that have done absolutely incredible things, or once again have raised incredible kids, or have gone through and once again achieved small things, but they meant a lot to them personally. So what I'm asking for is a little help from you guys. I individually can come up with different things to help patients create or going over hurdles and achieving goals, but many of our patients have succeeded so highly. I want to hear from all of my patients as well. If you guys have had some circumstance that you've needed to overcome to achieve your goal, I want you to let us know how you did that, because I know that there's a lot of people watching these videos that could really benefit from that. And if you have a small tip or trick that you've done, we really want to know it, because once again, we can pass it along to the rest of our patients so that they can achieve their goals as well. So what I want from you guys between now and our next week, once again, we'll be coming up with some new challenges, but two different things. First off, start with that vision. Get those goals, thinking about what you want. What do you want out of your year? What do you want out of your health? Where do you want it to go? And the second thing is, if you've achieved some high goals, let us know. Let us know what those goals were, and let us know how you accomplished those goals. Because once again, the more that we can help our whole community, the better all of us will end up being in 2021. Any other thoughts on that, Dr. Botros?
No, I only want to say that even the goals that sometimes we might take for granted as, oh, this is like second nature to me now. You got to keep in mind there's a lot of people that struggle with that, and you could be a beacon of light and hopefully be a strong, community here where we can help each other and build on each other's strengths to allow us all as a community to move forward and to make 2021 not just a spectacular year, but to even make up for last year as well.
Absolutely. We got some ground to cover before coming back from last year. So that's all we have for you here today. I'm really excited to hear some of your guys' responses. I always love, as you know, talking with all my patients and hearing what you have to say. So please comment in the section below this. And if you can't comment in the section below this, let us know, and we'll be happy to plug those in for you. So once again, I'm Dr. Van Scoik, the chiropractic company here in Glendale, joined with Dr. Botros. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in our next videos.